these holidays, my mum flew up to join me in Kununurra, so both of us could take a road trip from Kununurra through the East Kimberley, through the Northern Territory, all the way up to Darwin. Mum spent the first couple of days exploring the Ord River and Lake Argyle and checking out the beautiful East Kimberley scenery. The first leg of the road trip, however, was just a short one, up to Thomson Springs, just before the Northern Territory border. It takes less than an hour to get to Thomson Springs from Kununurra. The biggest challenge is finding the Thomson Springs track, which is just before the Northern Territory border, and then you need to negotiate a series of rutted, rocky tracks that slowly lead you towards the chasm of a massive red rock structure. It's there that you'll eventually find a beautiful isolated swimming hole. Yep, see that lush tropical looking greenery that's just come out of nowhere? That's how you know you're coming pretty close to a water source. Just about there, and look, as luck would have it, we're the first people here. No one else in sight, the spot's all to ourselves. Because we'd left fairly late in the afternoon after I finished work, we didn't have a lot of time to drive that afternoon before nightfall. So I decided that we'd just make that first leg a really quick drive to a camping overnight stopover at the Thomson Springs. After a relaxing night and a fairly refreshing swim in the morning, we were off to take on the first significant leg of our trip, all the way from the Western Australia Northern Territory border through to the Victoria River. Not far from the roadhouse, there's an access track that takes you down to a series of smaller, rougher tracks along the riverbank. This access track is also very steep, rocky, and rutted at times. A bit of exploring is required to find some of the nicer locations and deeper pools along the banks of the Victoria River. Welcome to the Victoria River, about 50 or 60 kilometres east of Timber Creek. And gee, that's some inviting looking water because it's 40 odd degrees today. And as much as I'd love to jump in, we all know the possible outcome of that. Oh, can you see those? A couple of wallabies jumping through the bush. Anyway, there you go. Terrific. Bet my bottom dollar there's a couple of sneaky crocs in there waiting for an opportunity. What do you think of the Northern Territory so far, Mum? Worth coming up?
Yeah, the wildlife's phenomenal. Much better than wildlife.
Worth leaving Jarrahdale for? There was a couple of wallabies jumping up that you just missed. After we left the picturesque Victoria River Valley, we made it all the way through to Katherine, where we stopped over for the night. From Katherine the next morning, we headed northwards, and our first stop was Edith Falls. So welcome to Edith Falls, Nitmillock National Park. Very popular spot. Good tourists. You can camp here in a designated camping ground, which isn't my style, but
Still nice for tourists and backpackers. Beautiful swimming spot. And you're going in, Mum?
I haven't made my mind up yet.
You're not sure?
It looks beautiful.
I'm definitely having a dip.
There's no crocs.
No, I've read the sign. There's a reduced risk of crocodiles due to park management. Can't be more certain than that.
Well, I'd done a fair bit of online research to try and find where our next night's camping would be, and I decided on a place called Lulu Crossing, which is on the Daly River, further north of Katherine.
Welcome to the Daly River in the Northern Territory. So we're about 200 kilometres south-southwest of Darwin. This place is called Lulu Crossing. There used to be a crossing here, but there's nothing on the other side to get to now, so there's 0 point taking on the crossing. And this is where we're going to call home tonight, as we're due to take on our final leg of the trip into Darwin tomorrow. So we're due to arrive in Darwin tomorrow afternoon. Now this is well and truly saltwater crocodile territory, and to be honest, we haven't followed all the precautions. So you can see I'm standing about 10 metres away from the bank of the water at the moment. Our camp is about 20 metres back from the water, 25 metres. But we've got some precautions in place. So for example, Mummy's sleeping in the rooftop tent tonight, because she's a bit freaked out by the concept of crocodiles, understandably. And then around the back, again a bit further from the water, I've just got the open air pop-up tent with a mattress. And what I'm going to do is, I'm taking into account that there's loads of logs providing natural barricades from the river anyway. It's very hard for anything to get in and out of the river here, as you can see. I'll add to that and put some more objects and water tanks and chairs and a whole number of artificial barriers in place, so at the very least I'll hear something coming. And to be honest, I'm pretty well protected here anyway. It'll be very difficult for anything to get in or out. So there you have it. We're going to put the fishing line in tonight. Maybe some barramundi, maybe some sooty grunner, we don't know. There is one really cool thing here that someone has built themselves. You can see Mum heading down to it now. Someone's built this little rock pool. Must have taken a long time. They've stacked loads and loads of rocks along the edge there to create this natural pool. And the water temperature in there is beautiful. The crocs aren't getting in there because it's a massive wall along the side, and as long as you're in there quickly and out and you're not going in there at night, it's pretty safe to have a quick dip and you're out quickly before there's any risk. So that's what I'm about to do shortly. So there you have it. That's camp on the Daly River, Lulu Crossing in the Northern Territory. We'll see you up in Darwin.
The next morning I realised that the track that had taken us down to Lulu Crossing was actually a hell of a lot steeper and more rutted than I'd initially realised on the way down. Well, just as well I blew my tax return on front and rear lockers a couple of years ago. From this point forth, it was only a couple of 100 kilometres or so northwards to the Northern Territory capital and our destination, Darwin. I'm going to spend a couple of days and a couple of nights here, acclimatising and just getting used to being back in a city again. I haven't been in a city for at least a couple of months as I've been living in Kununurra. So this is a good way to acclimatise before I use the international airport on Wednesday to head off to Singapore, which is another story. So that's it for this time. I'm off to sit around the pool and enjoy a couple of beers. We'll see you in the next More Beer Than Barra video. And we hope to catch you somewhere out there on the tracks sometime soon.